I am asking you to jump on board and help me get elected as president. And here's one of the things I'm going to implement inside of our government once I am president. That is the Oneness Consciousness Government Crisis Program. Government Crisis Program. Why is that? Because our government is in crisis. It's built with a bunch of corrupt people who are paid for by lobbyists, who are paid for by corporations to just continue to be puppets and enslave the American people. How are we going to fix that from the inside out? Here's the first thing that we're going to do. I am going to implement this government crisis program and oneness consciousness. If you are not 100% making self-growth and elevating your level of consciousness as a top #1 priority in your life, what are you good for? What are you actually good for? You are no leader. Leaders can only lead by example because they have achieved something that you have yet to achieve. How can you teach people? How can you lead people with your head up your ass? How can you lead people from greed and materialism? That's not a leader. Those are people who enslave. Those are dominators. Those are not leaders. Implementing a oneness consciousness government crisis program will allow you all to see the American people who are the true leaders in government here to actually help you, help all of us, and who are the ones who are here to enslave you. Now, how is this going to work? They will all be enrolled in this program. You work in government, you're required to be enrolled in this program, which means you're required to be coached, to be taught as the student that you are. The way of humility is one of the ways of oneness. If you cannot heal yourself and elevate your level of consciousness, you need to be removed from government. You're going to get a progress report quarterly, and that means all of the American people are going to see your progress, your refusal to participate in this program that is meant to elevate your level of consciousness. You have to become the way of responsibility, the responsibility to the people and the country that you're supposed to serve. This is oneness consciousness. You have to become the way of truth, the way of trust. If you're not trustworthy, what the hell good are you? You shouldn't be in our government. You have to become the way of harmlessness and gentleness. You can't poison people in our food system and be safe and be trusted with anything. You're poisoning people. That does not make you harmlessness and gentleness. You have to become the way of integrity. And we all know a lot of people in government sure as hell lack that. If you do not become what you are supposed to become as leaders of this country, you will be removed. And guess what? If we cannot legally find a way to get your asses the hell out of office and remove you from the corrupt system that you have created, then that's okay. We'll still get you out. You know how? Quarterly reports. Everybody, this entire country is going to see how well you're progressing in this coaching educational program to raise your level of consciousness. The way of equality is one of the ways of oneness. How many people in our government you think you're going to fail that one? How many people in our government do you think are going to fail achieving the way of equality when all they want to do is oppress women and make women their slaves? How many do you think are going to fail that one? And everybody in this country is going to see refusal to participate. They're going to see their progress, transparency, transparency, transparency. That is part of the way of responsibility, the way of truth, and the way of trust. If you can't function like that, you are no leader, and your ass needs to be removed. So, once I get in there, this is one of the first things I'm going to implement, and I already have the spiritual mystical warriors that have been training the last couple years in order to carry this program out. I have the coaches, I have the teachers, I have the people that will hold these people in government accountable for learning and becoming what they need to become if they dare to continue to call themselves leaders, which we all know most of them are no such thing. When we implement this, it'll create transparency. You will see people for who they actually are. Are they actually serving you or just saying they are so they can continue to get a goddamn paycheck and steal from you? You're going to see it all because I'm going to report all of it to you because that's what leaders do. We hold each other accountable for becoming better, more magnificent people. As I rise, you rise, we all rise together. It is my responsible to elevate so high that when I start getting to the highest thresholds of consciousness and enlightenment, it is my duty and responsibility as a being of oneness consciousness to guide you, support you, coach you, teach you, to elevate you to become the same. And if you are not willing to do that, you just get to the top so you can still feed your greedy ass more and more and more and more and use people that are below you, not as inferior, just not in the same grade. If you use those people to elevate yourself even higher, you need to be removed from your leadership position. That is all leadership positions. We should tolerate nothing less. So, oneness consciousness. That is how we're going to implement. That is what we're going to implement. That is how we are going to infiltrate this government and transform it into a government that is enlightened, that is the way of selfless service and every universal way of oneness. And all of you are going to see the reports on how everyone is doing, so you know the truth about who is serving you. So you then can take the power that you have and get these people out of office every single election that comes around. And you'll know who to remove and you'll know why to remove them. We are in this together. I can't implement it. I can't make this happen if you don't help me get there. So get me elected. When I become president, this is one of the first things I'm going to implement. Let's go.